Good morning, students. Today's lecture is a continuation of the lecture on aging in India, some social challenges to elderly care. So let's begin. Changing family structure. So here the social and the economic security of the elderly people was protected by the joint family system. In a joint family system, people were ready to take care of the elderly people. The traditional norms and values also gave importance on showing respect and providing care for the elderly. So what the traditional norms and values did is it gave importance or significance on what in showing respect and also providing these norms and values not only gave importance on showing respect to the elderly people but also in providing proper care for the elderly people. So as there is a shift from the joint family system to that of the nuclear family, there is a possibility that in the years that are to come, these elderly people are likely to be exposed to emotional, physical, and financial insecurity. So, in a family that is a joint family system, there were people who were ready to take care of these elderly people. But as there is a shift to that of a nuclear family, people are not having enough time to take care of the elderly people, and this may lead to what? This may lead to the elderly people. There's a chance that they are likely to be exposed to emotional, physical, and financial insecurity. So, if we look into the living arrangement pattern of the elderly, there is an upward trend. That is, staying alone or only with spouse, it was 9.90, that is 9% in 1992, and in 2006 it reached 18.7. In 2021, it may have reached much more. So, with the economic development of the nation and modernization, there is a possibility of decrease in the care of the elderly by their family. So, as there is much economic development and also modernization taking place, there is a chance or a possibility in the care of the elderly people by their family may get reduced. Next is lack of social support. According to Mani, it is because of low government spending on a social security system the elderly in India are much more vulnerable or at risk. So, in a chaotic and crowded city environment in urban areas, the elderly people, in order to meet their basic needs, hire domestic help. So, in these urban areas, the children are not having enough time to take care of their family or the elderly people. So, what these elderly people does is, or they have to hire a domestic help for what? In order to meet their needs, in order to meet their basic needs. Social isolation and loneliness has increased. So these people feel lonely and isolated because they have nobody to talk to or nobody to take care of. That is, they lack the support of their children and family. Elderly sensitive insurance cover is virtually non-existent in India. So those insurance policies that cover these or that are elderly sensitive are virtually non-existent in India. Pre-existing illnesses are usually not covered under the insurance cover. So thereby making these policies not feasible for the elders. So as there are no elderly sensitive insurance covers. If there are insurance covers, the pre-existing illnesses of these elderly people are not covered under these schemes. For those who have worked in the public sector or the organized sector of industry, pension and social security is also restricted. So it was found that 4.7% of these elderly people felt unhappy in their life and 36.2% felt they were a burden to their family. Next is social inequality. So elderly are a heterogeneous section. How? Because there is a division into urban and that of the rural. So according to Mane, the elderly are less vulnerable in rural areas in comparison to that of the urban areas because there still exists a joint family system in rural areas. In urban areas, what we could see is that there's a shift from the joint family to that of nuclear family system. Here also we could see that the elderly people are also classified on the basis of caste and other socio-cultural dimensions by the government. So in a case study, it was found that the elderly women were poorer. And what about their income? They received the lowest income per person in case of primary education. They had the greatest percentage of primary level education. They also recorded the highest negative affective psychological conditions also. The elderly women were the least likely to have health insurance coverage. In the case of health insurance coverage, these women were the least likely to have a health insurance coverage. And in case of consumption expenditure, they were the lowest. So this is all for today. Thank you.